So I wanted to jump on camera and make another video. Today I wanted to talk about depression. It's a video that I wanted to make earlier on, but I held off on it for various reasons. But I knew that I wanted to make it eventually. So today that's what I want to talk about. Depression and anxiety is something that is really common, whether diagnosed or undiagnosed. It's something that I think everybody gets at some point in their life, and it's definitely something that has hit me in my life, both depression and anxiety. And it's something that I feel comfortable talking about now because I'm not there anymore. It's something that I also feel comfortable talking about now because it's what I'm going to be doing for a living as well. So I understand it. I know why it happens. I know how to treat it. But it's a whole nother story when it happens to you. And that's, you know, that's just kind of what it is. If I had to describe it in layman's terms, depression and anxiety, it's like a vacuum. It just sucks you in. It just sucks everything good about you and everything good that you see with your own eyes. It just sucks that out. And it's very scary. And it's something that I've dealt with, undiagnosed, self-diagnosed. And this is something that I never really understood until very recently. I have never felt depressed or I've never felt anxiety until I got pregnant with my daughter. And so I guess when I got pregnant with Olivia, just a lot of things in my life changed, and it all changed at one time, and it just, like, I spiraled so fast. Like, I just had no control. I just went into this really dark place, and I stayed there for a really long time, even after she was born, years after she was born. She's 3 now, and I would say that I just stopped feeling depressed maybe last year in November, I would say, which was unfortunate timing with what happened at work in December. Because I just started feeling like myself again. I just started feeling happy, like happy without trying to be happy. And then that happened in December with the whole terrorist things, and then I just went back there really quickly. So it's been a struggle. Like, I kind of see depression as you falling into this really deep pit that you are like trying to claw your way out. There's no ladder, there's no steps, but you're digging with your fingernails and you're just trying to get out of this pit. And that's the best way that I could describe it, at least my own personal experience with it. So going back, when I was pregnant with her, I fell into this big hole. Like I said, lots of changes that I wasn't ready for. And it was rough. Like, you just can't even believe how fast it happens, you know, and you don't recognize yourself, people don't recognize you, and you're trying to be this fake happy, and it's just so difficult to the point where it's easier to just live the depression, to just be miserable, to be mopey, to be tired all the time, to just not care. Like, it's just so much easier to live with it and roll with it than to pretend that you're happy. It's just so difficult. And some of the worst parts of depression, I mean, it's one thing if it's just me, right? But I was carrying a child and I have people looking after me, and I was rude to them and mean to them, and I just wanted to be left alone. Like, that was it. I just wanted to be alone. And then even after I had Olivia, I feel like I got hit with it worse, because then I was dealing with the depression that I had before she was born, and then with postpartum depression. I was like so much more worse, and the person who took the most hits for it was Enrique. Like, I was mean to him, like really mean, and I'm not a mean person. I didn't even recognize myself. I didn't even know when I was doing it, and I was like that for years, and he stuck by my side and he stayed with me. And I think because deep down he knew, even though when we were dating, we weren't dating very long before we got pregnant with Olivia, I think deep down he knew that that wasn't me. Like, it just was not me. Even my family didn't recognize me. I didn't recognize myself. It's really scary to be this person that you're not. Really, really scary. And I was like that, guys, for a long time. And I would pretend, like, the only energy I had to pretend to be happy was at work, because I had to still work, right? And I still had to be social in some kind of way. But all of that energy it took to pretend outside of the house, I had none left inside of the house. I didn't want to pretend. I didn't have the energy to pretend, and so that's why he took all of the hits. And it makes me sad to even think about it now. But yeah, so it was like that for a really, really long time. I was just tired. I didn't have the energy to do anything. I was mean. I have my little one here. Go watch the movie, dude. Enrique is downstairs doing some work, so I have to film with her in the room, but I have a movie playing for her because I don't really want her to be paying attention to this. But watch your movie, baby.
I have burger.
Okay, I'll watch them later, okay? But anyways, it's just, depression just is all consuming. It's crazy. I am, on the other hand, grateful that I lived it and that I went through it, because it gives me a greater understanding of the people that are going to come see me for help. It's made me more compassionate, because now when somebody is mean or rude to me, I think it gives me a second to pause and be like, you know what? You don't know what they're going through. You don't know how much of this is that person or if it's a mental illness. And I really have become compassionate towards that cause. And I'm just so glad to be myself again. I really feel like myself again. I know I kind of regressed a little bit in December with what happened at my job. But at the same time, because right before that I had made so much progress, I refused to let myself spiral down as deep as I was before. So again, like, I fell into a pit, but it wasn't as deep of a pit as when I was pregnant, and I was able to claw my way out. And so here I am, end of February, and I'm feeling great. I feel wonderful. And not all of it is my doing. A lot of it has to do with my support system, with Enrique, with my sister, with my parents, with everybody. Everyone's always been so supportive. Nobody's ever told me, like, you're depressed, you're a bad person. You know, even though I know that people thought that, they didn't tell me that. They just gave me the space when I needed the space. They gave me the love when I needed the love. And they gave me their ears when I wanted to talk, which was very rare. And I think that that's really the best thing you could do for somebody that you love who's going through depression, is to just understand that it's moment to moment. It's not day to day, it's literally moment to moment, because at one moment you can be fine and you can be happy, and then one little thing will just set you off. And so again, the best thing that you could do is to just give them what they need in that moment, and to show them love when they allow you to, and to toughen your skin when they're being mean to you or when they're pushing you away, because it's not them. Everyone needs to understand it's not them. And like I said, it's something that I have such a greater understanding for now. And so some of the things that I want to talk about in terms of trying to make yourself feel better is to take responsibility for your own actions. That's something that I didn't do for a long time. I wanted to play the blame game. I wanted to blame how I felt on everybody else, especially my boyfriend. I wanted it to be all his fault. Like, this is your fault for what you did. This is your fault for doing this. This is your fault for doing that. And that just made things worse. It didn't push him away completely, but I started noticing that he was getting a little bit further and further away. And so The first thing to do, I feel like, in trying to help yourself get better is to take responsibility for your actions. To understand that maybe what you're going through is not yourself, to try to remember who you were before this happened to you, and to take responsibility for all of your actions. Of course, the best thing to do would be to go get help, to go see a licensed professional psychologist and get the help that you need, because they're really an invaluable resource. But I'm talking about things that I did for myself. And the first one was to take responsibility for my actions. The second thing is to be the change that you want to see around you. This is incredibly important. Because I was playing the blame game, and because I was saying this is your fault, this is your fault, this is your fault, I was also saying this is what I want you to change, and this is what I want you to change, and this is what I want you to change in order for me to be happy. And that was so beyond ineffective. It was just the worst thing I could have possibly did. And things only started to turn around once I started making changes in myself. Okay, sorry, I had to take a time out. Olivia had boogers running and I needed to blow her nose. But, so what I was saying, the second thing is to be the change you want to see around you. And this was so effective. When I started taking responsibility and identifying the things that I was doing wrong, identifying the moments where I was being somebody that was not truly myself, and changing them, I started to see that change in my environment as well. For instance, I keep using Enrique as an example because we live together and we spend all of our time together. So when I would change and I would start doing the gestures that I wanted to see him do to me, when I started doing those to him, he started doing them to me without me even having to ask. And this is kind of just a good life skill, is to just be that person and do the things, you know, the golden rule, right? Like, treat others how you want them to treat you. It's so true. And especially when you're in a depressive state, or you're trying to recover from depression or anxiety or whatever it may be, is to start being that change, and you will see it around you. It's almost magical how that happens. And it happened. I started being more affectionate, and I started doing nice things for him, and just little things that I would bicker about, I would do for him, and then he would do them for me, and it was just so great. And that's really how I got out of that hole, is just I took responsibility for my actions. I started modeling the kind of behavior that I wanted others to do towards me, and it changed my whole life. It changed my whole environment, and it's been great since then. I no longer feel like I'm in a hole. I mean, life is by no means perfect. I don't think that it will ever be perfect, and I don't think I ever want it to be perfect, because then there would be no more growth, and you know, what kind of life is that? But it's really, really good. Life is really, really good right now. I really have no complaints. The things that bother me right now are so insignificant. It's really just not a big deal. So I can honestly say that I am for real happy now. I'm not pretend happy. I'm not swinging off the handle like a crazy person. And my relationships are a lot stronger and just have more meaning, and you know, it's something that is just so amazing. To bounce back and to recover from something like that is incredible, because I'll never forget how I felt. Like, that feeling, I'll never forget that, because I've never felt like that in my entire life for so long, for years. It was terrible. I'll never forget that, and I don't want to ever forget that, because I always want to remember where I came from. I always want to remember the victories that I made, and I really, really feel like overcoming depression is a huge victory, a huge, huge victory, and it can be done, and it's just amazing. And it really shows you that life is worth living, because a lot of people get sucked into that pit and they don't want to get out. Maybe they've exhausted all of their energy in trying to get out, or maybe they're just so far under that they feel like, what's the point of getting out? And I am here to tell you that there is a point to getting out, because life is so beautiful. It's so beautiful, and you can never experience that beauty when you're in that hole. You just can't. You can't. So you have to do everything you can to get out of that hole. You have to claw and you have to fight your way out, because when you get out, I mean, it's no walk through the park, but when you get out, it will have all been worth it. And it is worth it. And I never want to go back in that hole. But if I do, I know that I'll get out. I've been in there twice already, and I know I've gotten out of there. I have the support system, I have the love, I have the strength to get out of there. And if I do, then anybody else who's watching this who is depressed right now, or who has gone through depression, you guys have to know that you can get out. It's not easy, but you can get out. And that's really the message that I want to relay today, is that depression is a serious thing, whether people want to believe in it or not. It's serious. Some people say, you know, life is what you make of it. I completely agree with that. But I don't think anybody makes themselves become depressed. I think that life, as beautiful as it can be really ugly, and it can take a turn for the worse. And it could get even the strongest of us. I consider myself a strong person. I know a lot about mental health. I know how to prevent it. I know how to treat it. I know these things, but it got me, right? If it got me, it could get you, it could get your sister, it could get your spouse, it could get anybody, and we need to really be sensitive to that. And we really need to have an awareness, a compassion, a sensitivity, everything, because depression is no joke. It is tough. It's really tough, and it can suck you in and take up a lot of your life. Like, I'm lucky to not feel any depressed symptoms anymore. I'm lucky to be genuinely happy. I'm lucky. I'm just so blessed and fortunate for a lot of things, and it's just a serious message that I want to give everyone, especially Olivia. I love you too, babe. I hope that in her life she never feels those feelings, but if she does, I know that she is strong enough to get out of it. I know she's strong enough to do the right thing, and I know that she's going to have the support system to help carry her through, just like I did with me. So again, if anybody watching this has ever felt depressed or is depressed right now, do not give up. Please don't give up, because once you get out of that hole, it is so worth it. So yeah, I hope everyone has a great Sunday. I hope that you guys got something out of this message. I sometimes feel like I'm rambling. I have so many thoughts that I'm trying to get across. But this was kind of a serious video, and it's something that means a lot to me. It's really important to me to relay. So yeah, I mean, anybody watching this, I'm sure you guys know me on a personal level, because those are the only people that watch my videos, but if you ever need to talk, or if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. You guys know how to reach me on Facebook, Instagram. Some of you are my family. You guys know my number, so reach out, and don't be ashamed. Never be ashamed to admit that you're feeling depressed, because it really does happen to everybody. Like, I had a professor a couple months ago say that mental health is on a continuum. In other words, everything in the DSM, all of those mental health illnesses, everybody feels those at one point or another in their life. So it's nothing to be ashamed of at all. In fact, it's something to be proud of, because if and when you break free from those illnesses, you're a better person for it. So thank you guys. I love you guys. I love you, Olivia, and I hope you guys are enjoying this beautiful life. Bye. Kiss me, give me that title, no game. How you need me now? Don't call me boo. Like you're some kind of ghost. What you a ghost? What you need to know, baby, don't call me. Come on, sing. Then come say an invitation, kiss me goodbye. Give me that. Sing. Oi. Are you gonna sing?
Yeah. Say you.
Look, ma, no hands. Put me on the shelf. I promise not to fail. Baby, you don't call me back. Give me that.